Hey everybody, welcome back to my garage renovation part 3. This will be my last video of me remodeling this garage. So this is kind of where we left off with from the last video. I do hope you guys enjoy this video. So let's get started. Anyways, so this is where I'm going to be installing the new shelves. So in the last video, I uninstalled the old shelves. They were like the basic generic garage shelves. I threw those out and I'm installing MDF as my shelf. So I ended up purchasing these brackets here. These are pretty strong, sturdy brackets, and I'm screwing straight into the studs of the wall so that I can get the maximum support out of them, because MDF, I don't know if you guys know, is not the strongest wood in the Lowe's or the Home Depot, but I made sure to install enough of these brackets so I can get support on those boards there. So I'm going to be installing them on both sides, on that left side and on that right side. So here I am just kind of sanding it out, and then I ended up installing, or not installing, but painting on this clear coat because we will be using a portion of that shelf for laundry detergent and cleaners and stuff like that. So if any of that stuff does get spilled, I don't want it soaking up into the MDF and that MDF swelling up. So I'm just making sure I put a nice coat on here, so that's kind of like a protectant layer. Now later on in this video, I did end up changing the color of these shelves, because at first I liked the natural look, just the brown that it is right now, but I ended up changing it later on in this video. So here I am, I'm moving on to the ceiling, scraping off the last remaining bit of this popcorn, getting this garage opener out of the way, lowering it down, making sure I support it when I lower it. Now, a lot of stuff in this video that I've already done in part 1 and part 2, I didn't record because I didn't want it being repetitive. So like painting the ceiling, scraping off the last bit of this popcorn, mudding, sanding, I didn't record any of that. I recorded a little bit of it, but not the entire process, because if you guys, I don't know if you guys want to see me sand or mud, you guys can go check out part 1 or part 2. But I didn't want it to be boring, and there were a lot of things that I kind of crammed in this video. But here is the joint compound that I used for all my mudding, and this is the mesh tape that I also switched over from the paper. I did a little bit of research. A lot of people like to use the paper for corners, but so that's what I ended up doing. But with this mesh tape on flat surfaces, that stuff is awesome. So I definitely went with the mesh tape. So here I am just doing a little bit of more sanding. I'm fixing this little corner because when I screwed in those brackets into that stud kind of came out a little bit, so I'm fixing those screws there, kind of redirecting them so that that wall doesn't bulge out. And off camera, I should have recorded this process. I don't know why I didn't, but I ended up flipping this door because it was installed incorrectly from, I don't know, whoever did it. The hinges were on the outside, so I flipped this door around, made sure everything was on the inside. I upgraded all the hardware on it as well, because if you guys know, rental properties, they like to just paint over everything, and everything just doesn't look good when it's painted. It just looks cheap and lazy. So I ended up purchasing new hinges, new handles. I'm reinstalling the trim because the trim was still in pretty good condition. There's no reason for me to buy new trim, especially with prices right now. So just filling in all the holes and cracks and crannies with some caulking here. I ended up again using that Sherwin-Williams brand. It's just your basic generic semi-gloss contractor grade white paint from Sherwin-Williams. So it's definitely good for this garage, especially with all the scuffing and stuff going around. And then I ended up foaming the underneath side of that baseboard there because I don't want bugs inside my house. Now moving on to installing the light in the garage. So this is the light I picked up. I think I purchased this at Lowe's or Home Depot. I can't remember which, but pretty cool light. I'm pretty happy with it. Very satisfied. Very easy to install too. And what's pretty cool about this light is you can switch with the brightness that you want on there. So I thought that was pretty cool. And now I'm moving on to installing the shelving and the cabinets in this garage. So what's pretty cool, where I live, there's a liquidation store, so they kind of sell everything for very, very cheap. I ended up buying this cabinet here for $10, so I think that was a steal for me. I think it's just your basic medicine cabinet for bathrooms and stuff, but I ended up using it here in the garage. Now with this corner here, I'm installing these little shelves. My wife ended up getting these shelves from Amazon. So in one pack, you'll get 3 of those shelves in different sizes. So you get a big size, medium size, and a small size. So we ended up getting 4 of those packs. So I had a whole bunch of these shelves, and I just installed them all in this corner here. And I'm kind of just mismatching them, just installing them at random, making sure they're all level, but just random pattern. And the reason for installing these shelves is there's a lot of stuff that would just collect on top of like the shoe rack or the washer and dryer. So I'm just installing these shelves so that all that stuff can just collect here in this corner, like envelopes, random toys, random tools, treats for the dog. I mean, it all can just stay here in this corner instead of collecting on top of the washer or dryer. So yeah, installing these shelves here in this corner was actually a huge difference for us in the garage because, like I said, it was very convenient of having these shelves here. So whenever kids collect mail or something, they're not just throwing it wherever they want. They can simply just stack it here. So yeah, very pleased with how this came out. So I can put all my cleaners here, all my car detailing stuff can go there as well. Shoe cleaners, random toys, dog treats, envelopes, mail, that can all go in here. So now moving on to installing more shelves, because like I said, one thing that this house lacks is storage. So I'm installing more of these shelves, making sure I screw into studs so that I can get maximum support out of them. So I also had some leftover MDF as well, so I ended up putting some in this corner and then extending it out as much as I can on this side of the wall. So I'm installing these brackets here. Very nice brackets. And then I moved on to installing this hanger for some of my tools, like my grinder and mixer and stuff. That can all just go on there. Ended up installing these, I don't know what you would call these, but they're like tool racks kind of, and you can purchase these at Lowe's, Home Depot, even Walmart sells them as well. They're very convenient. Basically you screw on this boarding here, and then you can clip on these little hooks and you can hang whatever you want on there. So I thought that was pretty convenient, so I installed a couple of these throughout the garage here, making sure I get screwing to the studs where I can so I can get maximum support. So now I'm moving on to painting the floor. So I'm just making sure I scrape everything off, all the paint and debris from previous tenants and even from me. So there's some paint spillage here, so I'm making sure I scrape all that off. And I'm also coming back here with those little sprinkles for flooring as well. Just coming back in there when it's really nice and thick and wet. I can just come back with those sprinkles and sprinkle right on top of it. Maybe in the future I might put a clear coat on top of this. I haven't decided that yet. If it's strong enough the way it is right now, I'll probably just leave it. But if I notice there's some areas that are starting to peel up, I might do a clear coat. Worst case scenario, I'll probably just go with like epoxy. But it's held up pretty good so far, so no complaints. Here I am, I'm taking off these shelves again because I didn't like just that raw look of that MDF. So I ended up sanding it all down, and I bought a satin black paint. Ended up just painting it. I really liked the outcome of this as well, because there was a lot of black that was in this garage. I ended up installing this shelf here too. This will be the shelf for my nuts, bolts, and clips collection. So it'll be very convenient just to walk up here, grab whatever I need. And then I had one more of those shelves remaining, so I just installed it here above the chargers. That can be my battery shelf. So I'm just reinstalling the shelves. I used 1/2-inch screws to secure the shelf to to the bracket. So, and then I'm finishing off the floor with another coat here, and then sprinkling on those little sprinkles on there as well, just to give that floor some more character. So very, very happy with how this floor turned out. So this is what my garage looked like before I started to remodel. It was, like I said, very jam-packed. It just looked crazy in there. And now this is what my garage looks like after the remodel. I'm very happy with how it turned out. Huge difference for me. Definitely happy with everything. So got this nice padding on the floor as well. So if you guys enjoy these types of videos, definitely hit that like button, subscribe, share it with your friends so that we can get that algorithm going, because we will definitely be posting more videos like this to come, because this house definitely needs more remodeling. So if you guys enjoyed it, I appreciate it. Thank you so much, and I will see you guys on the next video. Bye.